All right, welcome everybody to the Planning Commission Administrative Hearing of May 18th, 2022. We have two items on the agenda tonight. The first one is a conditional use and project plan approval. It's specifically Michael Cutler Construction requests a conditional use permit and project plan approval for 60 by 80 metal covered parking for school buses located at 680 North Independence Avenue. Public facility is under the neighborhood. Justin Ryder, staff member, is the one who is working on that. So we'll hear that one first, and then second we have a concept plan presented to or brought to us from the Provo Parks and Recreation Department. They are asking for approval of a new park facility, open space preservation recreation zone located at 3800 North Canyon Road in a Tiffany neighborhood. Aaron Ardmore, our staff, will address us on that later. So we will go to the first item. There we go. So we'll turn the time over to Dustin Wright.
Thanks. So, yeah, this item came before the hearing officer back in April, and the item was continued. The applicant wasn't able to be here, and there were some questions that had come up from the adjacent property, and so the item was continued so that we can get more information back. And so since that time, the applicant has been able to reach out to the neighbor about the issues with some water on the property. And so they responded in that has been worked out. So don't necessarily see that as a concern anymore. And so staff's recommendation, with that being resolved, would be for approval of the project plan and the conditional use permit for this project will be read in. Do you have any questions? I'd be happy to answer that.
I see that that recommendation comes with a recommended condition. Maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, just the type of use. So it'd be just to help with any noise, making sure that it's following our noise ordinance. So the condition that staff recommends is that the operations and repairs of the buses only occur between the hours of 7 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Which, if I read the staff report, and that would coincide with the noise ordinance of the city.
Correct.
Okay. I looked at the staff report and reviewed the proposal, and glad to hear that the water issue is like a site drainage issue. Is that right?
Yeah, it seemed like there was either runoff or spring water, kind of one of the two. But with the system that they're putting in on their property, that should be better than it has been in the past.
So it sounds like that's been addressed. So as I go through, staff noted in their findings that the proposal won't cause undue risk to the safety of the public. Essentially, that the proposed use won't unreasonably interfere with the lawful use of the surrounding property, and that certainly will, with the limitations on the noise, that will certainly help. Then there's doesn't look like there's any need for additional public services, and again, we've got to manage the public safety of the public. And so, considering that and the condition that's been recommended as the administrative hearing officer rather approve the requested conditional use from the whole. Right. Before getting a little ahead of myself, let's hear from the applicant first, and then turn it over to the public. Over the public comment. So we have Excuse me.
Mike Cutler.
Mike Cutler. Mike Cutler is here from as the applicant, and we'll hear from him first. If you have anything else to add.
No, you pretty well covered everything. It's with the adjacent property owner. He had concern. There's always been water in that corner of their property that's come from some springs that are in that area. And like Dustin said, we've put some drainage issues in there to catch all this that we've had our geoengineer come up with. And we're still not completely done with everything because we still have a retention pond that we have to put in. So really the water issue should go down once we get all that taken care of.
And is that improvement part of this?
It is.
Part of
It
this
is, correct.
process?
Correct.
Okay, great.
Correct. And then, like you say, our bus hours are 7. They start at 7 o'clock. And then they're generally done, unless there's field trips, but they're generally back in the yard by 4 o'clock.
Okay,
So
that sounds good. You don't have anything else to add? I guess
not that right now, it's just that, this project's just going to take what used to be a wooded area
right.
to a nice piece of property that's going to be nice to look at instead of all this wood, all these trees and a swamp basically.
Right.
So
but for site improvement and a good for the public use. So we don't have anybody in here who appears to be from the public. Do you have anybody online?
We're not doing online, so it's
Okay.
just whoever's in the room.
Okay. I don't see anybody from the public, so and we've heard from the applicant and staff. So as the administrative hearing officer, I will once again act to approve this application for a conditional use permit and project plan based on the condition of the operations and repair of the buses on occur between hours of 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. So with that, we'll move on to that. Is there, I guess one question for staff as we finish this up, is there any paperwork that needs to be signed or with agreement relative to the conditions?
Yeah, I don't have that sheet, but do you have any concerns with the condition?
no.
If he may ask you to sign something.
Yeah, if there's some,
let's give it.
Yeah, I can send that.
yeah, Dustin's got my email, so he can send it over if there's something that we need to sign.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, thank you
Okay,
so much.
hey, appreciate it.
Okay, up next, we've got item 2 again, which is a proposal for a concept plan approval. Concept plan approval, one time with there we go. Concept plan approval for a new park, basically in the around 3800 North and Canyon Road. So, Tiffany neighborhood. I'll turn the time over to Aaron Ardmore, staff member, to present this item.
All right, so yeah, Parks and Recreation Department of Provo City has gone through a review process for a new, what they call Edgemont Park up here on North Canyon, between Canyon and Tip View. This is land that they've set aside for a future park and now have gone through staff review of the proposal. Staff, all the different departments have approved the plan for the park. So that has been completed, and now we're here for the public hearing requirement. I spoke with John Bunderson of the Parks and Recreation Department earlier. He had reviewed the staff report and didn't feel like he had anything to add and agreed with our recommendation. So just to take you through, the concept shows a variety of uses throughout the park, a lot of green open space. Through the middle, there's some playgrounds and even a rock climbing feature. And then the northwest corner has some pickleball courts, and then a trails system connecting all those uses through the park. It's permitted use in the zone. Excited for this to start, to go out to bid and to start construction to provide that amenity for these residents in the area. So we're recommending approval of the plan for Edgemont Park.
Great. Again, a concept plan is what's proposed. And if I remember correctly, there's no, we don't have the applicant here for this.
Correct.
Okay. So what I'll do is the administrative hearing officers open this item up to the public. And it appears we have one person here who maybe wanted to make a comment. No. Okay. No, we don't. Is there anybody else downstairs that has anybody from downstairs that is here to make a couple of comments?
No, the other person changed their mind. They had another meeting they went to.
Okay, very good. Well, then I don't see anybody else in here to make any comments. So I'll close the public hearing. And with that, note the findings of fact that the staff has made regarding this proposed concept plan. Findings of fact are that the properties in the Osprey zone, and in the Osprey zone, parks are obviously a permitted use. And I also note that the CRC, the Coordinators Review Committee, has reviewed this application and approved it. We have a recommendation of approval from our staff here. And so with that, I, as the administrative hearing officer, move to approve item number 2, Parks and Recs, Provo Parks and Recreation Department's request for concept plan approval for the park facility in the open space preservation and recreation zone. And it doesn't appear there's any conditions of approval proposed. And so with that, that's it for item 2. And with that, we'll close the meeting. So thank you for your attendance.